James, I have a weird feeling, and you're always honest about this stuff, that the Lakers might be a little better than most people think. And I'm basing it on two things. I watched Luca play in Eurobasket, and he is 20 to 30 pounds lighter. He's actually playing defense, and he's moving. That's the first thing. The second thing was everybody's worried about LeBron. Like, it could be LeBron's last year. Is he going to have a bad attitude? Blah, blah, blah. A guy wrote a story on Luka in the Wall Street Journal 2 days ago, and LeBron was effusive about how excited he is to play with Luka. He says he's a basketball genius. He's a great effing guy. He goes, and we may only have one shot at this together, and we're going for it. So that tells me that they think they can win it. And I think they're going to be most people picking them middle of the pack in the West. I think they could. I think Oklahoma City wins the West, and 2 through 10 are tight. I think the Lakers might be closer to the 2 than the 10. What do you think?
I was really impressed that they were able to get to third in the West last year.
Yeah.
On half a season with Luka and LeBron not 100% getting the chemistry and the cohesiveness and their synergy, not having a big, not having a rim protector. They got all the way to the playoffs, and then they met the destiny. They didn't have a big, didn't have a rim protector. They missed that. But I think Redick, I give him credit for the way he communicates with those players. I give LeBron a lot of credit. Say what you want about his career and all that, but his ability to recognize, what's before him. He's had great players, Irvin. He's played with a lot of great players, so he knows how to create that chemistry. And then Luka, 27.
Yeah.
Jerry West used to always say, you don't really peak till you get around 29 or 30.
Well, they say 28 to 32.
Yeah,
that sounds right, yeah.
So he's, he is serious. I think he's gotten by the Dallas stuff, but he's always going to have that in the back of his mind.
Don't you think he's on a mission this year?
He's on a mission.
He's on a mission.
He's on a mission. Oklahoma, Boston, all these, Milwaukee, and Luka, he did well in Dallas, but he is ready in a city that demands that he win. And I think he's, bought that $25 million house right next door to John Allen down there.
Maria Sharapova's old house.
That's
ready.
right.
So with the addition, I remember when Phil Jackson bought Ron Harper here. Ron could still play, but more importantly, he was really good in the locker room. You bring in Smart.
Marcus Smart,
who could still play defense, savvy. Ayton, we talked about peaking at a certain age. It's time for him to step up.
Yeah.
And I think he knows that. If he doesn't, he's going to go the other way for him.
He's in a unique spot, and you could speak to this better than Mace or I could, but he, in essence, is playing for his financial future. If he has a big year this year, he has an opt-out at the end of the season. James, he's a $15 to $20 million player for the rest of his career. If he doesn't, if he fails, he becomes a minimum guy, right? So that's got to be a huge motivator for a player.
It better be. And I like Ayton. Don't get me wrong. I like his potential. I've seen some great things from him. His shooting touch. It just becomes a time when you have to, my grandfather used to say, let him have some gunpowder. He give his dogs gunpowder, make them mean. His hunting dogs, and that's what he's got to be. He's got to be a hunter. I would love if Kobe were beside him as a teammate. He's got to find that. I think LeBron playing with Luka and the communication with Redick. Hey, you got to be a tough guy that stays out of foul trouble, protect the rim, and take advantage. And I think he can do that here.
Mace, if you look at Luka in the history of his career, bigs with Luka always end up with a ton of easy shots, mostly dunks. And it's not unlike you told me a story years ago where when you came to the Lakers and you come out of a solid program in North Carolina, so you would one of your teammates would grab a rebound and you would sprint as fast as you could to start the fast break. And the first couple of days of practice, you'd get hit in the head with the ball because you said Magic would throw you open.
Yeah.
And he would, James told me, Mace, that it took him a long time to realize that Magic could see him even though he wasn't looking at him.
Right.
That's Luka.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not saying Luka's as good of a passer as Magic. I don't know if anybody ever is. But Luka is constantly throwing the ball to bigs underneath the basket. So he'll dribble, draw the defense to him, and then whip it to Ayton. He'll get a lot of those easy shots you got when you were playing with Magic.
Well, the one thing that Magic and Luka have in common is that they can take a snapshot. Both of them are really good rebounders. They get that rebound and they take a quick, shot of the whole floor going down. So, and then their ability to calculate their steps and know where you're going to be. That's why when Magic Johnson threw that pass, that no-look pass to Billy Thompson, that famous pass.
Sure.
He was looking over here the whole time. He saw it way before, and he just knew he'd be in that area. So they both have that ability. I think Luka is really good in traffic. That's where I think Ayton's going to really explode with a lot of alley-oops and easy buckets because Luka just looks at you and smiles, and he throws a little lob to the right. You're right, John. There's a lot of guys going look at Hayes. Look what Hayes was able to do.
Sure.
With LeBron and Luka, and he didn't even have the height or the all that experience that a lot of players do.
All right, James, before we break.
Yes.
James, what is his first name, Mason's first name?
Jeff?
Everybody calls him Mace.
Yeah.
He said the last time you were with him, you called him Dave Mason, and Dave
right.
Mason is a singer.
Yeah.
That's why you get
yeah.
it. But everyone always calls him Mace.
Mason's what I go by, so you get that right.
So he goes, Worthy has no idea what my first name is. Can you tell him my first name is Steve, which is his first name? I go, no, it'll be funnier if you
Jeff
just
Mason.
keep going.
I know a
That's
Jeff
right.
Mason. I know a Dave Mason.
There you go.
Mason.
Well, now you know
Mason.
Steve Mason.
Yeah. Nice to meet